Hi, welcome to Story Time with Gigi. Today we're going to be reading another story from our Fancy Nancy 5-Minute Stories collection. Our story today is called Fancy Nancy and the Boy from Paris. I almost always get to school early, but on Monday I am tardy. That's a fancy word for late. I come in and see a new kid. He has black hair and is wearing a red striped shirt. He is standing next to Miss Glass. Robert comes from Paris, Miss Glass is telling everyone. He just moved here last week. Paris? Paris is a city in France. It is gorgeous. That is a fancy word for beautiful. Let's give him a big welcome, said Miss Glass. Everyone in class claps. I clap the loudest of all. Later that day, I see Robert in the book nook. Bonjour, I say. In French, that means hello. I'm Nancy. I've never met anybody from Paris before. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. That means that I'm happy to meet him. I speak slowly so he will understand. It's really nice here, Robert says. I miss it. He has a book on cowboys. I guess he probably wants to learn all about this country. That's what I would do if I were in a new country. I want to go there someday. I show him my book. It is about a dog named Fifi that lives in Paris. Fifi has many adventures. In the last story, Fifi got trapped in the Eiffel Tower. Do you like the United States? I ask him. Yes, I do, says Robert. Don't you? Yes, I like it very much, I say. I've lived here all my life. Then Miss Glass puts a finger to her mouth. This is not talking time, she says. This is reading time. Oops. My little backdrop. On Tuesday, I sit next to Robert at lunch. Have you ever been to the Eiffel Tower? I ask him. Robert nods and swallows. Lots of times. Our house was near it. I could see part of it from the playground at school. I tell Robert, I know about the Eiffel Tower. There's a poster of it in my room. I know lots about Paris. I share some of my lunch. These are donut holes, I say. Robert gives me a funny look. I know that, he says. I've eaten donut holes before. Sometimes we just don't know what people from other countries are familiar with. That night, while my mom and dad are making dinner, I tell them about Robert. He's very nice, I say. He already speaks English. He's trying to learn all he can about our country. He is mostly interested in cowboys. I want to be his friend. How do you say friend in French? The word is ami, Mom says. You say it like this, ami, ami. I love French. Everything sounds so fancy. Why don't you ask him over to play, my dad says. What a great idea. So the next day I do. We can play soccer, I say. Did you play soccer in Paris? Sure, all the time, Robert says. I was on a soccer team. I'm a good kicker. I can come on Friday. On Thursday, it is show and share. Robert brings in a plastic toy horse. It is brown and white. My grandpa has a horse like this, he says. He looks a little sad. Robert passes around a photo. I miss her a lot. I gave her carrots every day. Sometimes I even got to ride her. Her name is Belle. In French, that means beautiful. Belle, I say to myself. Now I know another French word. On Friday, Mom is at work. Mrs. Devine picks us up from school. Mrs. Devine lives next door, I tell Robert. Robert is from Paris, I tell Mrs. Devine. Isn't that wonderful? Mrs. Devine smiles. Paris is a lovely place, she says. Robert is quiet. I think he misses Paris a lot. At home, we make a tent in the yard. We pretend bears are outside. We pretend to be terrified. That's a fancy word for scared. Then we put on our cleats and play soccer. We let my little sister play too. Robert is a great kicker. He kicks the ball really far. My dog runs around the yard. She loves to chase balls. That's Frenchie, I tell Robert. She's not really French, but you'll like her anyway. We go inside and I show Robert my room. See, I say, pointing to the poster on my wall, there's the Eiffel Tower. But that one does not have a cowboy hat on it, Robert says. That Eiffel Tower is in Paris, France. It is taller and it is more famous, but we have an Eiffel Tower too. Our Eiffel Tower has a cowboy hat on the top. Wait a minute. I'm very perplexed. That's a fancy word for mixed up. But you're from Paris, France, I say, aren't you? No, I'm from Texas. Paris, Texas, Robert says. Miss Glass told everybody that the first day. Robert shows me Paris, Texas on my globe. Oh, I guess I missed that part. And I feel a little silly, but not for long, after all. I have a new ami, even if he isn't French. And that's our story. I hope you liked it. Make sure you like and subscribe and share with your friends. Bye until next time.